I'm Jane Joyce, and NBK have renovated this bathroom that I'm standing in right now and our small shower room downstairs. They've changed dramatically. This bathroom was a lot smaller than it currently is. I mean, it's quite snug anyway, but NBK extended it, and they also renovated quite dramatically. Previously it was really tired, I think is probably the polite way of putting it, but quite grotty. And the work that had been done previously was not of a very high standard, and it had really been sort of neglected for quite a long time. So they stripped everything out right back to the bare bones, and they rebuilt along with lots of consultation from us and transformed it completely. And downstairs was tiny. I think it was probably a bigger challenge than this bathroom because the space was just so small, and it's now really clean and beautiful and elegant, which was not really something I imagined being possible in such a small place. We spoke with quite a few different bathroom and kitchen companies, and I have to say that the reason we chose NBK was because when James Filippo came over to do the initial consultation, he didn't sell at me, like he wasn't really pushy. We just had a nice conversation, and I really felt like I had a sort of instant feeling of trust with him. I didn't feel like he was pushing expensive solutions and trying to sell, which I always find myself getting quite allergic to immediately. So I just felt like I trusted him, and I also felt that he was not putting any pressure on me. So that was why we initially went with NBK, and it was proven to be a really good decision. The experience was great. I felt a little stress sort of building up to it. I was anxious about it. We've only ever had one bathroom renovation previously in a different house, and that was a pretty painful process from start to finish. So I think because of past trauma, I was a little bit anxious about how it was going to be when it started. But it was so smooth, and any problems that we encountered, which I knew we would because it's a really old, well, this part of the house is very old and it had been quite neglected, so I knew there were going to be issues as we went along. But they communicated with us so well. I found that whenever they called me with an issue or a discovery, they'd always thought through solutions, so they didn't just present a problem. They always said, okay, we've discovered this has happened, but we would suggest either this or this, and they would talk through the pros and cons of each solution. And honestly, that was such a collaborative, reassuring, confidence-giving approach to the whole process. Because we had no bathrooms, no toilets, we were out of the house for up to a month. We thought it would be a month. We were actually able to come back about 3.5 weeks after the starting date, which was really amazing. We thought it would drag, we really did, but we were back within about 3.5 weeks, and all the way through my confidence sort of built. Everything was shared really calmly, photos were sent, and whenever there was a decision to be made, we'd have a video call. So I would be able to see the space, and we'd talk through the pros and cons of every decision. It was really, really good, and throughout I think after the first couple of days my sort of stress levels dropped. And in terms of people to call out, I mean, everybody we dealt with was brilliant, but James from the outset was just fantastic, and was just any kind of issue that I wanted to talk through, I could just call him. And then we had Lee Howard, who worked in this room, who was brilliant all the way through, and then we had Arta, who worked downstairs, who was also fantastic. Initially I was thinking, how can I save money, basically, and I thought maybe if we approached our bathroom renovations, I could sort of source individual tradespeople and I could manage it myself. When I spoke to James and he explained how they would look after everything from start to finish, when I went back and started thinking about maybe I should do that, it just seemed like too big a stretch for my limited capabilities, and I was really comfortable letting James do it all. And I'm really glad that we did, because as I mentioned earlier, there were a few hitches and glitches and hiccups along the way, and the fact that they always knew a solution, always knew somebody who could come in and fix that problem, it just made it a lot easier. I suppose I like the feeling of calm they give me. I used to sort of almost close my eyes whenever I went into our bathrooms, they were so grim. So now I feel, yeah, they're the first bit of our house that I feel really, really satisfied with the renovations that we've been doing. They're beautiful, they're elegant. I feel like we've been able to put our personal touches onto the bathrooms. It wasn't just a sort of cookie cutter approach with NBK. Every single decision was collaborative. Yeah, I just like the fact that it feels like ours, but it was the problem solving, I think. That was what, I mean, I felt confident before we started that we were going to have that if we needed it. But it was the calm approach to the problems. I mean, when Lee lifted the floor in here, the previous floor, I mean, there was virtually nothing underneath. There were great big holes in the flooring, and that, you know, that when I saw a photo of that, that was quite a sort of stressful thing to see. But it was just immediately, this is, you know, we can solve it this way. Everything was calm, and nothing dragged on. Everything was just resolved pretty calmly and effectively. I suppose I used to rush in and out of the bathroom, spend as little time as possible in here, and it always felt sort of grimy and grotty. So I suppose now I will quite often have a very, very long bath and just enjoy being in the space.